Welcome to another episode of BWT. Today we will be going over the San Francisco Giants free agents and who they should sign. Um, Again, I want you guys to make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button so you do not miss any of the network shows. We've got Carl Talking College, CTC. We've got RBO, Real Ballers Only with Vaughn, FFC, Fantasy Football with Combs, Dave's Doghouse, um, in the red corner, and the main show, which is Refuse to Lose with Dave, Tomo, and Joe. And then, of course, you got BWT. So let's get right into it, man. The Giants were 79 and 83 to finish fourth in the NL West this season. They have tons of free agents going into the market. So this is going to be fun to predict who they're going to sign and who they're going to re-sign, who they're going to let walk, stuff like that. A couple bright spots throughout the season where they finally found another catcher like Buster Posey, Patrick Bailey. He was a top 3 nominee for the Gold Glove this season at catcher. Um, So that's good for them, knowing that they have their guy. Um, we have they fired Gabe Kapler as a manager this season. He just wasn't winning enough, so they had to let him go, and they hired former Oakland Athletics. Well, I don't know if you can call them the Oakland Athletics anymore, but for now we'll run with it. Um, they hired Bob Melvin to be their manager for the next couple years. Um, I think what they got in Patrick Bailey is huge. For him to be a young dude and be able to make an impact in the game, offensively and defensively, it's going to be huge for them. Catcher is one of the most important positions on the field because you're pretty much the quarterback of the entire game. Um, you see everything right in front of you. You're calling the game, and everything really runs through you. So for them to have that key spot taken care of for the foreseeable future, barring any injuries, is huge for them. Um, they have for their free agents, Jock Peterson, who hit 235, 15 home runs, 51 RBIs. He's an outfielder. Mr. Smooth himself, Brandon Crawford. He batted 194 with 7 home runs, 38 RBIs. AJ Pollock, he hit 165, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. He didn't have too many at bats, so that's why his numbers are really low. Alex Wood, he went 5-5 with a 4.33 ERA, 97.2 innings pitched, and 74 Ks. Sean Manaea, he went 7-6 with a 4.44 ERA, 117 pitches, 117 innings pitched, and he got 128 strikeouts. They had Roberto Perez. He hit 133, backup catcher. He didn't really play much. He didn't have any home runs and only 1 RBI. Scott Alexander, he went 7-3 on the season with a 4.66 ERA, 48 innings pitched, 31 strikeouts. And Paul DeYoung, he was a trade deadline acquisition because Brandon Crawford, the reason why his numbers were so low was because he was injured a majority of the season. So they went out to try to fill that spot. With Paul DeYoung, he hit 207, 14 home runs, and 38 RBIs on the season. And another key thing that they that happened in the organization is they let go of pitching coach Andrew Bailey. He is now the pitching coach over in Boston. So that is going to be a key role that they need to get um, that they need to replace because in the last couple seasons, the last 3 seasons, they were, I believe, 6 in ERA. Um, so if they want to compete in the NL West with the Dodgers and the Padres and the Diamondbacks, they're going to need solid pitching because those teams' lineups are nothing to play around with. Um, for me, um, I feel like the Giants had an okay season, right? They were competing for the wild card a majority of the year. They were they competed real hard towards the end of the year. Um, they didn't have any big star on their roster, so for them to have middle guys to be able to compete this season says a lot about what Gabe Kapler was able to do with that team. Hopefully, Bob Melvin can give them a little bit more luck. But he was in Oakland the last couple years, so he really hasn't had any success in the past couple seasons. Um, Free agency predictions, right? I see them re-signing Jock Peterson. Um, he had a down year this year, so I believe his market isn't going to be as high for other teams. Uh, re-sign Brandon Crawford. Again, he was injured this season. So I believe that when he's on the field, he's one of the top defensive shortstops in the league. Um, he's one of the got some of the smoothest hands. If you've seen that video of him turning double plays and turning plays, then you know. But if not, make sure you look up Brandon Crawford infield, and the dude has it. um, I believe they re-signed Alex Wood, and they also re-signed Scott Alexander, right? And then for free agents that they go out and get, their team needs are pitcher, infielder, and outfielder. Um, Pitching, as in starting pitching and relief help. Um, so these guys would help them out that they're going to re-sign. And then for players that they're going to go out and get, I believe they will go out and get Matt Chapman. He played for the Blue Jays last year. Get him out of the AL East. So the Yankees don't have got to compete with him. That'd be great. I believe they also signed Reese Hoskins, who didn't play at all last season because of a torn ACL in spring training. So I believe this is going to be the year that he takes another leap because before that he was playing very well. And with the Phillies coming out and saying that Bryce Harper was going to be a full-time first baseman, um, that leaves him out of the lineup. So I believe that they're just going to say bye to him, let him walk, and go get some help in another position. But that'll be an episode for another day. Um, I believe they go out and get Eduardo Rodriguez. He played for the Tigers last season. At the trade deadline, he had rejected a trade to the Los Angeles Dodgers because he didn't want to go out there, I guess. And now he came out and said that there is no restriction on where he wants to go play geographically or anything like that. So he's open to going to the West Coast. Um, and before the Tigers, he was in Boston, so he kind of likes this cold. But now I feel like he's like, damn, I need to get out there where where it's hot all the time. Probably better for his arm, right? I know a lot of pitchers that pitch better in warm weather than they do in cold weather. Their arm just feels a whole lot better and stuff like that. Um, I believe they also go out and get utility guy, first base, third baseman, Jamer Candelario from the Cubs. Um, he had a great season. He was in a lot of trade talks, but the Cubs never pulled the trigger because at the trade deadline, they were in contention to get into the playoffs, because they went on like I believe it was a 8-game winning streak, and for them, they didn't see the point of getting rid of their guys and tanking when there's still a shot uh, to get there. Of course, at the end of the season, they didn't get there, so they were probably better off letting go of those guys instead of just letting them walk. Um, and I also believe that they are going to sign Lucas Giolito, starting pitcher. He was on the White Sox and the Angels last season. Um, he's one of those guys that can be a solidified three in your rotation. Eduardo Rodriguez, same thing. If they can go into the clubhouse and give these guys a spark in the pitching rotation, that would be great for them. Veteran guys that know what it takes to get guys out at the major league level. Eduardo Rodriguez was a part of the Red Sox winning it all in, I believe it was 2018. So he has some championship experience, also playoff exposure. Lucas Giolito, he's played on the White Sox his entire career. So unfortunately, there is no playoff experience for them, which is very disappointing because they've always had a very good roster. They just could never pull through. I believe it was bad hiring of managers. But again, that's another episode for another day. I see the Giants maybe in that 80 to 85 win category next season, with these acquisitions, if these acquisitions come true. Again, these are just predictions. I'm just going off and just seeing if I'm right. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, oh well, right? And we'll go after free agency ends, towards the beginning of the season. We'll go through, rank all the teams, where they're predicted to finish at the end of the season. I'll have a couple guests on, just like we did last season. We had, for my very first show, we had Jerry and Carl on, and we predicted the MLB standings. Shout out to Jerry. He was right about his Orioles. Carl, I believe, was also right about his Tigers finishing. He said third in the AL Central, but they ended up finishing second in the AL Central. So shout out to him for that. Excited to see where all these free agents are going to land. No free agent has signed just yet. I believe once one does, the dominoes will start to fall. So I'm excited. Get ready because it's going to be a wild ride. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you guys tune in to the Refuse to Lose show today. I got something special for you guys. I know it's the 1-year anniversary of Dave, Tomo, and Joe all co-hosting together. So I'm excited for them. Shout out to you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.